being in Portland, Maine, as close as you are to the ocean, when you step out of your house, you can smell the sea. You can smell the salt in the air. It's the raw, open ocean. I've crewed on sailboats. I worked out in the Penobscot Bay on those old wooden schooners. I've always enjoyed working with my hands. I knew fairly early on I didn't want to be at a desk job. I wasn't very good at 9 to 5. Bartending was something that I saw as fun, something I could pick up and figure out how to do. And the more I started working behind the bar, the more I started educating myself about spirits, the more I realized cocktails were sort of that next step in the evolution. My wife and I, we tried to create a bar that you could be comfortable sitting down and geeking out with the bartender about residual sugar levels in vermouths or dilution ratios, but at the same time, the person next to you could order themselves a beer and be perfectly happy and comfortable with that. We called the place the Portland Hunt Alpine Club. It's very clean lines, very bright, very modern. We've always wanted people to feel welcome. We wanted to just make a place that people could hang out, have fun, and have a conversation. That sense of community and communal eating was very much just part of the philosophy we wanted to impart upon the bar. The food we describe as kind of Scandinavian inspired, which is to say very acid forward. A lot of warm spices, cardamom and dill. You take a sip, you take a bite, you take a sip, you take a bite. Works really well. When you're looking at equipment to put in the hands of your staff, you want something that you know is going to be reliable. When we use a blender, we want it to evenly chop everything every single time. The Vitamix is an absolutely durable tool. It's something that we know is going to be our workhorse. It's going to do its job well, and it's going to do it quickly. Hi there, I'm Andrew Volk and we're at the Portland Hunt Alpine Club, and we're here today to use our VitaPrep 3 to make an instant allspice dram. A couple of dried spices, some rum, sugar. We're going to put that together and then right away jump into making a cocktail with it called the Lion's Tail. It's made with bourbon, fresh lime juice, and our allspice dram. Let's get going. To start with the allspice dram, take your VitaPrep 3 and we're going to put in there a whole bunch of dried allspice berries, a couple of cloves, a couple of black peppercorns, a cinnamon stick, and a nutmeg. We've toasted those off in the oven already. Grind that up into a fine powder to begin with. Once we have that nice powder, we're going to add some overproof rum. Once you've got a nice blend on that rum and spice mixture, we're going to use a fine strainer and strain it right into some measured out simple syrup here. Strain out until you just have the wet powder inside. The Vitamix has done all the work for you in grinding up those spices. For ease of use, right into a glass bottle. And we're going to put ½ ounce of that allspice dram right into our shaker. 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. Dash of bitters. A teaspoon of rich simple syrup, 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, and then 2 full ounces of bourbon. Get our glass ready with a lime wheel. You give it some ice, shake it up. Strain it through a double strainer just to get those chunks of ice out of there. Give us a nice smooth texture to the drink. And there you have a lion's tail. When you're testing out recipes, when you're breaking down cocktails, you're looking at the same things that you look at with food. You're looking at texture, you're looking at the entry of the drink, how does it taste up front, how is the mid-palate, what is the middle of the drink like, what is the body like, and then how does it finish? Sometimes you want something that really packs a punch up front, or sometimes you want something that is a slow burn and then just lasts on your palate for an hour. One great thing about the Vitamix is that you can quickly try something. You can put something in and you have some extra berries sitting around, you have some extra herbs, you have something that you might not have thought of using. It absolutely gives you that creative control. When a guest walks in, we want them to sit down and we want them to know that they're in good hands. You know, people can come into Hunt Alpine and see how excited and passionate we are about our cocktails. Let's take a philosophy that the chefs and kitchens have and let's bring it behind the bar. That feeling, that experience, that sense of welcome, that sense of just having a great time. That's what I hope people leave with.